Hello, everybody. You can see right now we are in a Zoom meeting. I don't know how to make myself the focus or how to. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do here. As you can see, I got my laundry behind me. I could change it, but we're being honest today. Like, I'm not gonna hide the fact that I've been in such a place that I've let some chores slip. Folding clothes being among them. What are you gonna do? I'm joined with me today by Dr. Sabrina Garcia, who
Hello.
is a doctor of the veterinary sciences, a healer of animals, and a lover of all things not people. She's been one of my best friends and confidants for, what, 15 years now?
Yep, just about.
Just
A little bit
about.
longer, I think.
I am continually honored to be able to call her friend and blessed with her wisdom and the fact that she will straight up call me on my bullshit like a real friend should. Let me put this chair up just a little bit. There we go. There we go. That's a whole different vibe. But yeah, so I'll let her speak for herself when she says hello.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I guess I'm just here being supportive. I feel like the holidays are a hard time for everybody, and especially in veterinary medicine. It's a very hard time for pets. We see about a 30% increase in humane euthanasias over the holidays between November and December, and so I'm just here to give my 2 cents about kind of what I see from other people and provide my own insights as far as how I feel about holidays and why I feel like this is important to talk about.
Yeah, and just before we started, we were talking about my recent loss. That being, I just had to put my dog
Kind of what
down.
I see from other people and provide my own
Oh.
insights.
Hey, nonsense! I got everybody in here. What's up? You know, Non, if the link is in the chat, you can just pop in. But yeah, I wanted to speak for a second on my dog that passed this Sunday. Um, she was 15. She was a pit bull. She was the best dog you could ever hope for. She made me a better parent because she taught me the true definition of patience, like only a dog can.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, man, it's one of those things. It's a hard it's hard to lose a member of the family so close to, you know, the holiday season. It's hard ever, but you have all these thoughts in your head. Like I had, family photos in my head and things like that, and now like they're all just gonna seem emptier than they were, and it's such a sad thing that yeah, it's just such a sad thing. Like earlier today, Beth had a moment where she had to like curl up on me because she was like, "Oh, I'll just feed it to Cronny," and then like she just, oh
Aw.
yeah, and I was like,
Hmm.
I have about five of those a day, you know,
Yeah.
and like Cronny used to basically finish all of Volcanochine's apples, core and all. Yeah, man, it's just rough not having one, not having her around. I got her ashes. I can show y'all real quick. I got this this dope box.
Ooh, nice. That's a fancy box.
It is.
Yeah.
I think this is the only option they gave us. I think they weren't even trying to downsell anything.
Oh yeah. As I say, our boxes are literally like little plastic PVC things like glued together.
No, this is cherry wood and it's got her name on it. Like
Yeah,
this is, yeah. They didn't tell us there was any other option.
it's pretty.
Yeah, I'm. It's deserving of how beautiful she was, for sure. And
I'm glad you got them back so quickly. Like that's really good.
Yeah, it has been a those 3 days were so rough. I can't even lie. Those 3 days, I mean, they're still rough, but like
I mean,
just
you go
not
through the
having
grieving. You
that
go through the
energy.
grieving process the same as you would a person when your pet passed.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, in my opinion,
Oh shit!
I
It's
think
the green machine.
Whoa. I think the grieving process is worse whenever it's, whenever it's your pet,
Yeah.
because there's a different kind of bond there than what you bond with people, especially people who don't like people, like you and me.
That's fair.
Then you really get attached to the things that are non-people-y.
Right? That was before I had my baby. That was my baby.
Yeah.
And Jay, do you know why you're green?
Oh, he's not green now. He's not green now.
Oh,
He's got.
for me, he's like stark green. I think
No,
that means for the stream too, right? Let me check. Yep. My
Well,
man's the greenest.
I'm gonna say he doesn't look green to me.
Yeah.
What I see is him basking in gamma radiation because he's about to Hulk out. That's what I see.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at my camera right now, and it doesn't say I'm green. I'm in the galaxy.
Yeah, he's got the world.
I'm gonna stop your video and then ask you to start it again,
All
just
right.
to see if that did it. There we go. Yeah, because
Okay.
that's how you started. See. There we go. And
Your
I would
green
like to
screen
welcome.
keeps erasing one of your earbuds. It makes you look-
Oh, trust me, this isn't a green screen. This is
Yeah, this is
Zoom.
the backdrop.
It's the bodega version of the green screen.
I chose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I chose to let people see my backdrop because that's like the physical manifestation of my depression right now. And oh my god, it turned green again, bro. I do not. Try taking off the backdrop. Maybe that has it.
I'll change it.
Or is that maybe green? No. What the chimney sweeps? Either way, visuals aren't super important right now. I'm just more like confused and curious by it.
I don't know. The problem is not on my end. Like, he
Yeah,
looks
it's got to be on
fine.
mine, so I don't know. I'll just do this. Let it run. Oh, there we go. Cured itself.
All right.
But yeah, we were just talking about my dog that passed this Sunday, and just how that's impacted me. I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. My friend Sabi, Sabrina, I call her Sabi. She's
Hello.
a licensed veterinary professional of sciences.
Mm.
She's a doctor, if you will. So there's that.
All right.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Jay.
Of course, nice to meet you, Serena.
Um,
Or Sabi, whatever you.
You can call me Sabi. I'm fine with that.
Okay, all right. Do I have permission, Brother Valen?
Yeah, of course.
Because I know this is your special nickname for us. So I was like, yeah, all right, we got it.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, this is just talking about the normal highs and lows that come with the holiday season, that come with those feelings of expectation of things and expectations upon yourself, and how you balance those, and how those really find a way to balance you in some cases. Yeah. I personally, Christmas is my favorite holiday. I find people are just sometimes nicer around this for no reason. Like, people really think Santa's watching. But this year has just been so fucking different. Like, it's just the pandemic has done so much to separate us that there's not the usual feeling of, like, the holiday season. Even if it's not like Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, there's normally something going around that makes people feel like they're in an extra better mood than normal. Mm-hmm. And it's just, this year isn't having that. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally against the fucking law.
I think it's something I was telling people that I feel like probably this holiday season, this Christmas season, will be more important than it's ever been in a while, just because of the fact that everyone has been so forcibly separated by, everything that's going wrong in 2020, the pandemic. Nobody can really express themselves, go outside. You can't freely interact with people because you're always having, COVID in the back of your mind. So it's just like, for the people that you can truly spend time with in the holidays, I feel like you would take it more seriously. So, Christmas music blasted louder than ever before. You know what I'm saying? Like for the small people that you, so like if it's just like 4 of you that you have a Christmas party with or a Christmas dinner with, you know, maybe you'll have a little bit more eggnog. Maybe you'll sing a little bit more carols. Maybe you'll just appreciate the time that you're spending in that moment in time a lot more. Think about it. You know, maybe watch some Christmas movies, some Disney movies. Like I feel like that this holiday season is meant for healing more than it's ever been before.
Facts. I think that's...
You know, I like what you're going on about. I really think that, and this is kind of just off to the side. We don't have to go much further than this comment, but I feel like one thing that 2020, if you flip the script and stop for a second and stop talking about how negative things are, and you focus on what you're grateful for, that's what's going to change that mindset. Especially this year, and the gratitude of having the people you can have around you is super important. And I think what you're saying, Jay, touches on that. I think it's important to be very grateful for what you do have and sing those carols if that's what you do, you know. So that's just my 2 cents.
That's a good 2 cents. And
you're on mute, Val. Val,
yep,
you're on mute.
You're still muted.
I'm so used to muting my mic that I forgot that for some fucked up reason, I did it on the Zoom this time. But, I think I'll speak for myself that I have a hard time with, like, personal, like, my brain doesn't reward me for things. Like, even when I do good, I don't get that feeling like I've done good. And I think this season, it's become even harder for me. Because a lot of times, like, I'm like, you know what? My kids are fucking healthy. You know what? My wife is healthy. Like, we're not starving. We got food. Like, things could be so much worse. And God, Sabrina knows shit has been so much worse. Like, as far as my life concerned, I'm living my life like it's golden. Straight up Jill Scott moments. Nothing but those. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get lost in my own personal, like, my depressive states and my cycles, which, if you're familiar with these, you're pretty familiar with the fact that I bounce around that depression scale like fucking, like I'm on pogo sticks. Sometimes broken pogo sticks, but pogo sticks nonetheless. Yep. And I think that's the reason I do these, is because I know I'm, right now, especially because of my dog, like, I'm down bad. But I know I'm not alone in that. I know holiday gets people in so many different places mentally that it helps to speak on it. It helps to get that out. And for me, starting these mental health streams has been almost entirely about just the commiseration of humanity. Like, we're all going through some shit, and better or worse shouldn't matter. We're all going through some shit. And that's what I try to remember. That's what these, like, drill into my brain, is that I'm not alone in this. And I'm by far not the worst I've been, or as bad as other people. You know what I mean? And I, like Sabi said, I need to be thankful for the things I can be thankful for. I just need to be able to see them. You know? So, yeah, that's...
Yeah, from my standpoint, when we talk about holidays in general, when I was younger, we did all the holiday stuff. So, you know, from basically the time I was born until probably about 8 or 9 years old, it was Christmas trees and lights and festive holiday spirit and going and seeing family and big family events with big...
Your mom
Christmas
was
trees.
different around Christmas time.
My mom, like, that was her jam. She freaking loved Christmas. But you know, after everything that went down with her brain tumor and things like that, it really just changed her personality. All that stopped, and things just got more kind of caustic as time went on, and Christmas kind of became a kind of the epitome of loss for me. Where, it's Christmas time and now we don't do the things that we used to do. And so I'm on that foot of, like, yeah, Christmas is not the best time, because we talk about loss and who I've lost and the family and friends that aren't around anymore. And so that brings up that depression. And again, you know, that the other side of that, you know, if that was the left side, the right side of that story is that truthfully, I should be grateful to have what I have. But in the back of my mind, I can't stop thinking about what I've lost. And I think part of that is driven by my, again, I'm like you, I have my depressive states where my serotonin and my dopamine just don't exist. And I can't feel good no matter how grateful I am about things. No matter how many times I say, yeah, I'm super grateful to be healthy during COVID times, to not have COVID, to have a healthy dog, to have a healthy cat, to have a healthy partner, all of those things. But I don't have my mom. I don't have my grandma. I don't have my family. And I can't have my family this year. So it's a very almost bipolar kind of situation sometimes.
I think something that people tend to not realize is, you know, it's always easy for someone to say, "Hey, be grateful," you know, think positively. Like it's easy to be the one to say it, but to do it, it takes a certain amount of strength and consistency, I would say, for sure. No matter how well off you are, there's people in different situations. And for me, me and Valen have talked at this at length multiple times where we both have different, completely contrasting backgrounds and how we got to the point that we're at. But at the same time, mental struggles are still the same. So no matter how much, you know, positive experiences that I may have had earlier on, there is still a part of me where it's like, if I'm used to those positive experiences earlier on, and I feel like now because of that, I have more pressure. There's more things I need to do. Like I should never feel down. It's like that. You put that pressure on yourself that I have no room to feel down whatsoever. I need to keep being always positive, always happy, always grateful. Like, look what I've got. Like I've got this compared to other people that haven't. Who am I to, like, you know, be mentally down? That's like, it's poor. And you put so much pressure on yourself that way where you don't ever give yourself time to really appreciate what you do have. Instead, you're worrying about, okay, well, I shouldn't be appreciating this because I got lucky. I'm fortunate. So you have to keep going. You have to keep going no matter what. And the moment that you stop, you're a failure. It's like you put that all on yourself. So then for me, like you mentioned when you were younger, holidays were an exciting time because like, oh, it's this time of the year again. Well, now that I'm older, it's just like, oh, it's here. What am I doing? Oh, I'm still working here. Oh, I still don't have a wife yet. Oh, I still don't have a family. So when I look at someone like Valen, man's got 2 beautiful kids and a wife. I'm like, man, he's living a dream. To me, he's living a dream. That's what all I want is, because it's like he YouTubes, he's got kids, his wife around his wife. I don't know their, you know, marriage dynamic or anything like that, but she clearly, you know, allows him and supports his hobby. And I'm like, I would like that. I think that would be nice. Right. So then when I look at the holidays where you're supposed to be spending time with your loved ones, and I'm 28 years old and I ain't got no bae or no wifey, no kids to like dress up in, you know, little Rudolph ears and you know, like just the small things that really matter, not like the other stuff, like the small things. You get in that moment where I was like, damn, another Christmas, you know, another Christmas without what I really want, you know. And it's things like that where some people will think, oh, that's not a big deal. But to some people, like everyone's, what everyone values is different. It's all subjective. Like your pain is specifically subjective. There's no such thing as objective pain, unless obviously, you know, you have tragedies, of course. But then, so once you get in that moment, the holidays remind you of the camaraderie. Who's with you? What do you have? What does the other person not have? Where did you come from? What should my Christmas be like compared to someone else? For someone else, a Christmas tree in their house makes their entire year. Like, oh my God, look at this Christmas. See, look, you see what I'm saying? He's like, oh, look at this golden star. I got my kids with me and I got this Christmas tree. It's great, you know? And then for me, you know, I would look at Valen and be like, look at this man. Family time, you know, Christmas carols, dressing up, eggnog, just chilling with the family, great time, right? So then I got to tell myself, like, listen, be thankful for what you have, okay? Like, everyone's life is different. Everyone's circumstances are different. So Valen's circumstances is he wanted a family. He got what he truly wanted, and he's talk to him at length about it. Like that means everything to him. That's like everything. And that's how he finds solace in these holiday times. And then for me, I gotta find the same thing. You know, I grew up with African parents. I lived a restricted life. I'm finally free. I live on my own. I'm responsible. I don't have those parents bearing down to me all the time, to the point where I can finally say that I've grown, just because now I'm living on my own and I've proven to myself that I can sustain myself literally by myself, pay my bills, my car payments. I don't need them, even though I'm very grateful to them. That to me means everything. And then, you know, I've had my own personal journeys, things I've had to deal with mentally, physically. And it's like, you have to put that into perspective instead of kind of like envying what someone else has. And I think the holiday seasons is meant for you to be introspective and see what it is you have and appreciate it. But at the same time, understand that, you know, next year, I would like my holidays to look like this. Let's strive for better. So that's kind of how I try to, like, you know, view the holidays, even though there are struggles as well.
Yeah, I like that. I think that where a lot of depression or even just angst, I guess you could say, about the Christmas season is that it brings up those comparisons of what is a good Christmas supposed to be.
Exactly.
And when in reality, a good Christmas is whatever you make it. You know,
Bing Crosby
like
lied to everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, a good Christmas is whatever is good for you and whatever helps your heart. But I feel like most people and most people don't think that way with Christmas. They think, oh, it's the time where my family gets together and all they do is fucking fight. It's the time where you know, I look at like the comparisons you drew, where, you know, you really want a family, Jay, and Theo has it. And so Theo's Christmas to you looks like a better Christmas than what you get to have. But from Theo's perspective, you know, his loss and things like that overweigh the fact that he may have your perfect Christmas.
Yeah, and that's kind of like one of the reasons I love these streams is because the perspective of the individual versus the counter perspective of the individual. And a lot of times it is me and Jay, because we've said this before, like as a joke, we're like the Naruto and Sasuke, and people don't even fucking know it. We're like, it is just like different but the same in a lot of ways. And it's just having the alternate perspective, and a lot of people, you know, as they come, because there we go. Because people will be filtering in and they'll have their opinions and things to say. And that's one of the things I love about this, that people are feel safe enough to give those opinions and what they want, what they fear they might not have next year. That's fucking huge to be able to say, and I don't know if I'll have that next year, even though it's this thing that I want and I work towards. That's to be able to say that is fucking gigantic. Like, people don't get that in this day and age. People don't talk about, and if you trust me, as somebody who grew up pre-internet, people don't talk about their dreams the way they used to. Like, people don't talk about it as, oh man, I'm afraid this is gonna happen. Everybody's like, oh, I'm just gonna. Like, it's a very different way of talking about your future than that existed when I was young. Like, it was, I'm going to do this, and hopefully save up for this, and I'm going to end up here. But now kids like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be famous. And it's like...
yeah. There's not a stepwise, goal-oriented process. Is that what you're going on? Exactly. I'm going to be a YouTube streamer.
Exactly. Yeah. Like,
I don't know what that looks like or how to do any of it, but I'm going to do
it. Exactly. And yeah, and it negates so much of the hard work and stuff that goes into it. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I want to give Nap some time to speak. He showed up. I want to thank you for stopping by, as always. A no-nonsense fella. Womp womp.
Hello.
Hello, Sabrina.
Oh, you quiet as hell. You're going to need to move forward on that mic, sir.
Oh, man. Can y'all hear me now?
A little more. I know I think you're in your cabin right now, or whatever it is, but...
Yeah. That's the best I got for you right now, bro. I don't know what else I could do.
All right, hey, then that's the best we can get. That's all I can ask for.
I apologize. Well, hello, everybody. I was just listening to y'all and just, can't relate, obviously, as far as like being depressed or having depression and stuff like that. And just with the holidays, man, it's rough at times for real. But one thing I will have to say, like kind of what Jay touched on, and everybody for the most part, Valen and Sabrina, you just always got to keep pushing and keep going. And these small tasks is something I give myself every day. Just me personally, like I get up, read a scripture, meditate, you know what I'm saying? Pray, work out, walk around, do something, just to constantly keep myself motivated and going. Because for the longest when I was younger, like we had the Christmas and, the New Year's and stuff to look forward to and coming together as family, but I would always get in trouble on holidays or something bad would always happen. So it's just like I can never associate those with happy times.
Right.
And even with family, like, family is going to be up and downs. But for me, it was more so I experienced those downs. I'm just like, well, damn, like I can't even enjoy these times where other people would come together and I would hear certain stuff from my friends, like, they did these things and everything else. I'm like, why can't we have that? But I don't know the process of what they went through to get there, to have those moments. But I'm just looking at the glorification of it all.
Comparative
so, like,
Christmasing. That's what that's called.
Right. Yeah. So like, with having that, it's at times where now it's just like, man, I don't care for these holidays for the most part. It's cool being with family, but it don't really mean much to me. It sucks to say because it's just, I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or not. It's just like I always kind of have my wall up even around like family members. But I'm saying all this because it's just like I work on myself every day, so it's one thing I talked to this guy. He was like, man, you got to look for the good. And you got to know what good looks like what it means to be better, like what the outlook of what you think better is. And I'm just like, I never really sat and thought about that. I kind of focused on what I saw was good with other people and tried to apply for myself, or seeing like, the negative side of things or just the outcome of whatever the situation was, not necessarily dwelling in it, but, just, man, this stuff just kind of happens. But once you kind of shared that information, I'm like, all right, well, had a moment with the family, hung out, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, wasn't a bad day. Nothing bad happened. No arguments, no fighting, no fussing, nothing. Everything was good. So I'm like, this is what a good day is supposed to look like. This is what a good time with family and friends is. Never really experienced that. And I'm just like, that's kind of crazy. But, it's those are the moments of something that I have to constantly keep hold of to outweigh those other negative moments that I have. Because otherwise, it's just like, man, I'm cool just being to myself. I'm a loner. I don't necessarily need people. It's cool. It's cool if you want to be there for sure. I'll be your ride or die no matter what. But at the same time, I can't always just like keep that olive branch out for everybody, because I know it's not going to be respected or looked or viewed as the same way how I would do it, So.
Just as a quick question, with kind of just speaking on what you're talking about with and you can let me know if I'm wrong in my interpretation of what you said, but as far as I can tell, what you're saying is that you do your best to keep a positive and be there for people, but there is this, even though you don't have depression or something like that, there is this kind of nagging anxiety for you about being there fully for people, keeping that olive branch out and keeping your wall up at the same time. Would you say that's accurate?
Well, it's that, and like, no, I've been with therapists and just doctors and stuff too before. Like, they classify as far as like, I have like bad days to where it's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm more emphatic than others or in my circle, like more emphatic than them people. When it comes to like certain things, like I'll just watch a show and just break down crying. And then it's like, well, why am I crying? Like what's going on in my life to get me to this point to where, these things, or I'll just have certain moments I just need to isolate myself because I can't be around people. And it's not necessarily like anxiety or anything. Like I have that to a degree, but like just around family, I just need to be the me because I know it's like something inside of me to where it's like, I don't want to be around anybody. And it's just, I don't know why that is. And then I'll start viewing myself as like lesser than or just a horrible person. And I'll try to talk to somebody. It's like it don't go over well because I feel like they're trying to put their views over me and vice versa. And I'm just like, I'm not trying to argue. I really didn't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's,
Sure.
in those moments, so it's like, you know, I feel, then it's like, well, you're playing the victim. Like, nah, I'm really not. And it's, you know, it gets weird after a while. It's like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm cool with being the me. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like to bother too many people. But, you know, it's weird saying that when it's family. And with the holidays and stuff, typically it's, you know, around family and you're supposed to be like a warm, exciting, feeling, joyful times. You're being, you know, just around like people that you love. And then it's like, I don't know if, you know, if people love me in that way or if it's just saying it because we family. You know, it's just, it's weird. So it's, I know how I feel about them, but when it's reciprocated, I don't know how to feel in that because it's just, it's never consistent. And for me, it's like that consistency, the lack of it, it bothers me and it weighs on me more so than I feel like it does other people, or at least like the people that I'm around, you know.
If I can speak on that, because you were speaking my truth in that, because sometimes I'll be watching some shit and all of a sudden I'll be crying and I have no idea why. And part of that is it's a PTSD response. Like, and everything you were talking about, like the not knowing where somebody is emotionally, not understanding how people feel, whether they're being honest in their emotions and stuff like that. This is all like circled up into that. If you're talking to somebody, I would recommend you have that conversation with them. You know what I mean? Because it helped me a lot. And it wasn't even like talking with friends that figured it out. It was a show, if you ever heard Rescue Me with Dennis Leary. It's about firefighters post 9/11. And in the first season, you see him go through these things where he'll just start crying for no fucking reason, and he'll internalize and he'll hate himself. And I'm telling you, it was like looking in a mirror, and because you feel weak for crying for no reason. Like, you know, you get punched in the face, you know, you can cry. That's okay. People get punched in the face. That's what it's there for. And you can cry for that. That's a thing, you know. Like, you step on a
Did
tack.
you just say your face is there for punching? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, mine is, but I meant more like if you get punched in the face, it's okay to cry.
Okay.
But when there's no outside catalyst and it's obviously coming from within, and without the tools or understanding to address it, it becomes something bigger than what it actually is, and it can become so incredibly consuming. Like, it's such, in my opinion, it's fucking scary. It took me a long time to really understand what the fuck was going on, and that was only because a fucking TV show I happened to be watching one night while really high. Like, so help finds you if your heart is open. Like, that's the way the Lord works. You know what I mean? It's not going to be through, like, a fucking dove isn't going to fly. I've been in New York too long. A dove isn't going to fly down and be like, Lord's love. And, like, everything's going to be okay. That's never how that shit's going to work. You know? Like, yeah. And I think, and the comparative Christmas thing and the looking for the good are so at odds with each other sometimes. I wanted to bring that up because you're like, this is what Christmas should be. This is what I have. And when there's like such a disparity, it's the good things become so much smaller than they actually are too, because the brain is wired that way. One of my favorite little sayings for the brain is it's Teflon for the good things and Velcro for the bad. The bad shit will stick there forever, like lint and Velcro. All right, and the good shit will slide right off, so you don't remember it. But yeah, Jay, you look like you've been wanting to say something. I'm keeping an eye out.
I think something that Nasa Snap said about not knowing whether, you know, people's reciprocation is genuine or not, or you be like, I know how I feel about a certain person, but how do I really know how they feel about me? And I think that's one of the most dangerous mental traps that you can ever get into, because that's something that is a specific issue I've dealt with for a very long time. I'm better at it now, but before it used to drive me insane. Like, it was a horrible thing to go through, because at the moment in time, you have this perception that you try to give so much of yourself, and you're always trying to be nice, trying to be a good person. And that's something that I've had to work on, where, not everybody deserves your niceness. Not everyone deserves your kindness. But at the same time, I have this notion where, you treat others how you want to be treated. Right. And, if I make a mistake where I feel like if someone did that to me, I would be hurt. So you beat yourself up for it, and then you deal with it and you move on. And then you realize not everyone has that same mindset. Everyone, most of the time, I have this, I don't know if you would say, I have a very cynical worldview recently now, where I believe that, at the end of the day, people are inherently narcissistic. No matter whether they want to be selfless or not, you're narcissistic in whatever way you want. Say, if you want to be the nicest person, you want to be the nicest person for a narcissistic reason, right? So once you go in with that mindset, it's like, all right, well, I'm friends with everyone here, but what if they're talking about me, in a poor manner behind my back? Like, do I really know that? Like, do I really know you care about me? Like, are you just doing this so you can get a favor later on? Like, what? It's like, at this moment in time, my mindset is just like, I can only work with what I can control, and then whatever else happens, you kind of just leave it up to the wind. And if something bad happens, you kind of just have to find a way to brush it off and be like, all right, well, this happened. I can't dwell on it. You got to move on. But, it's not easy to keep that up. It takes a lot of mental gymnastics to keep that up. So there's times where, you see something and it may not really be anything to them, but to you, it's just like, why did that happen? What was that? Like, are my fears true? Like, am I just being ignorant to my own instincts? Like, you start fighting with your own instincts, and then you don't know what is true and what isn't. And then once you fall victim to that, it's kind of just like, it's all downhill from there. You just plummet in. You look at every interaction you have with somebody, like, oh, maybe I saw that wrong. And, it's just like, why did you say that? And it's just like.
And like, Twitter and social media is treacherous for that shit.
It amplifies it by 1,000.
Oh my God.
There's times where I just have to get off Twitter for a while. I can't do it. I can't stay for too long. It's a toxic place. And the thing is, you don't catch, like, I'm sure you understand that. Like, there's times when you get caught up in so much, you don't realize how far you've gone until you take a step back and like, wait a minute. I've been wilding for about 3 weeks now. Let me just let me just take a break, recalibrate, and be like, oh, okay, this is what normal life is like. This is how a normal person is. Well, relative, obviously. Normal is technically subjective. But yes, let me at least get back to my normal state. What I stand for. What are my boundaries? What do I want to do? Not what is Twitter making me do. Like, you can't let Twitter control you.
That is such a huge thing, especially for like growing channels and channels that, like, I don't want to say depend on that, but reading the tides of social media is a huge part of being successful in that realm. And there comes a moment where you're like, am I doing this because I feel like I have to, because if I don't, then I'm the one that's not, or am I doing this because I want to? And that's an individual line for everybody, but it's a good thing to bring up, because it's a very treacherous thing. But also, real quick, I want to give Joe a chance to say some shit. He's been in here for a minute.
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right, we're just chilling, talking about stuff, letting the feelings fly to where it was. Just kind of,
I gotcha.
Being honest, letting the world know.
Yeah, man. I mean, JD and Nat really touched on some shit that I was thinking. But then another thing that, I don't think I've heard anyone touch on is, do you guys ever tend to overthink and I guess concentrate on dumb shit you used to do when you were younger, and then it just like brings your whole fucking vibe down?
Oh, hell.
Oh my God,
all the
yes.
fucking time, bro. That shit is horrible. Horrible.
Yo, I don't know if Sabi remembers this, but for a couple of years, I lived with my grandma for like 4 years or whatever. And
I mean, I remember that.
yeah, but I don't know if you remember the Christmas stuff that she had. She had all this, like, she had a whole fucking village. She would put, like, from across the TV onto this fake fireplace that she put, like, out just for fucking Christmas. And it was, like, it was a magical fucking wonderland. And, like, I was too much of a shit fuck at this time to appreciate any of it. But now that I'm, like, older, I'm like, oh my fucking God. What I wouldn't give to understand what goes into doing that. And, like, creating the same feeling for my family would be fucking great, but I was too much of a shit fuck, and now, like, and that's where it starts going down. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I had this amazing shit, and now it's and yeah, sorry, I'll shut up.
Nah, you're golden, bro. But I was just like, my main thing was like all the dumb shit I used to do that would like piss off my family, or like just because I was a hothead back when I was younger. Hell, even like 6 years ago, man. Like I was just an asshole. And occasionally, like I could be with my chick right here and just think back on some of the dumb shit I used to do, and it would just bring my whole fucking mood down.
I think one thing that is important in that moment in time is you have to understand that, one, everybody has something that is negative about them. That is like, no matter what people want you to see, people always want you to see the best of them. But people always have a negative fault about them that they're either trying to hide or they're trying to work on, or they just don't care, or they don't see that it's negative. So when you go back to the past and see, oh man, I was a dickhead. Like, well, look at me doing stupid shit, right? I think you have to understand is you look at that now and then see where you're at now. The fact that you even know it, the fact that you're even aware that you were doing stupid shit in the past, some people don't know that yet. Like, you understand, some people don't know that what they used to do in the past was wrong or detrimental. So now, the fact that you have that knowledge of that, and then you're not really proud of it. So I'm assuming that you would like to work on it. You're trying to better yourself. You could be in the process of doing so. Life is all about, fixing. Life is all about working on those things. You're going to work on that for the rest of your life. You are who you are. I think the fact that you're on the journey and you're aware of it to fix it should be something that you should, at the very least, be like, okay, I'm embarrassed about that, but at the same time, I'm working on it. And as long as you're actively working on it, like, you should definitely take some confidence in that. And it's like a nice little balancing act between being embarrassed about the past, but also knowing that I'm getting better. And you'll see results too. Somebody will come out of the blue and say, I remember when you were like this, man. And you know what? You've grown up. You've grown up a little bit. Those moments mean more than you think. They mean so much to me when people tell me that. Like, I was just like, thank you, please.
Yeah, man. Because like my main thing was like how I used to treat my mom, because back when I was like a teenager, I found out what really happened between her and my father, who is no longer here. And for the longest time, I held a grudge against my mother.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I'm just like, well, I kind of see things a little differently, because when her and my dad were together, she was real young. She was 17, he was 20.
Yeah.
And then, after she had me and my brother, she went through, because I knew nothing about what's it called? Postpartum. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Postpartum depression. And it like fucked her up bad mentally, to where then she started fooling around with her future husband, my former stepfather. And then that was just a real toxic ass relationship. And because I seen how toxic they were with one another, learning how she did my dad back when I was younger, it just like for years, I was just like treated her like shit. And that's what I'm mainly talking about. Like, I'll think back to like, damn, I can't believe just randomly I used to treat my mom like this. And now things are a whole lot better, but it still just like ruin my whole fucking day sometimes.
Oh, Valen, you're muted, by the way. I think
Trent said it best. Time and perspective, man. Both of them things are a bitch and a half, and when they work together, they will put.
I can definitely commiserate on a certain level with what you're talking about, Joe. As far as like, just looking into your past and having these regrets that you can't change, that just bring up that anxiety, and your whole day is like spent there in that time, because you can't step away from it for a moment to be like, I know I feel like intrinsically, you're not that person anymore, because you've already identified it. Like, you're not that person.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't remove the fact that it happened,
mm-hmm.
and that you cannot change it. And it's one of those things, like, once the plate's broken, it's fucking broken. Like, you can't piece it back together. And so that does well up a lot of anxiety. And I think holiday times like this bring that around because you start thinking about your family members and how they are. But I agree with Jay, because I think that if you can make those steps towards improving that relationship with your mother, whether you've already started that or are planning on starting that, that will help you close that space.
Oh yeah, because I mean, we started working on our relationship back when her and my former stepdad split. Because at first I thought she was just this problematic woman that was over dramatic, and then I found out the truth that low key he was just like a raging alcoholic, and he was getting hooked on hard drugs and shit, and he was just toxic as hell for her.
Yeah.
So she got the hell out of that relationship, and ever since she met her new husband, she's been like a completely different woman. And I mean, you could ask anybody from my brother, my girl, hell, my little sister, who, I started to have a good relationship again, that ever since she got with him, it's like our relationship has improved by leaps and bounds. And it's almost as good as, what I would think it was when I was a kid. And I like completely adored her for the woman she was.
And that's super good and important. And I think that anxiety of how you used to behave, I would assume, is probably lessened comparatively to, say, a few years ago when you were probably still struggling with some of it. I don't know if you agree with that, but
I definitely do. I definitely do. And I've openly talked to my mom about this, and I've told her, I'm really sorry for the way I used to treat her, because honestly, I just thought of her just like a piece of trash. And then you start to learn things as you get older, and I started to respect her a lot more. And just like, I don't know how she dealt with this for so long, and why anyone would, I'll never know. But I got a lot of respect for her for doing what she had to do back when she was with my former stepfather. I'm still a little sad about how things went between her and my biological father, but I mean, it is what it is.
But the animosity isn't there, right?
Oh hell no. I would die for my mother. There's no animosity there anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get that. God, I was such a shitbag. Why was I such a shitbag? Feeling that can kind of come up around the holidays.
Oh yeah, and it does, because I always got that that anxiety, like, oh man, I really hope I don't fuck up the holidays this year and upset one family member, especially my mother. I mean, hell, oh man, it's been years in the making where our where our relationship got a lot better.
Oh, what?
It got quiet.
Yes, I got scared. I said, wait a minute.
No. I had to mute the mic just in case, because she had me dying.
It's like, when did we just witness?
I was like, maybe I shouldn't have laughed. Like, maybe I should have kept my mouth shut.
Right?
I was like,
yeah, no. You guys are good. She's fine. She just says whatever the hell's on her mind. It is what it is.
I thought you were about to say, she's fine. She's just sleeping.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, you're terrible.
I could never hit a woman. I'll shake the shit out of them.
That's the
I
only
won't
way
hit
it's
a
funny
woman.
is if it could never happen.
I'm crying. Absolutely crying.
I thought we were supposed to be talking about serious shit. Y'all got me dying.
We are. We do, but sometimes you gotta have a laugh, man. Levity is the breath of the heart, as it were.
Indeed.
I don't know if that's a real saying, but I did just really say that. So.
You did just really make that up.
That's like, I don't know if that's a thing, but it's definitely a thing I said.
But it feels good. Roll with it.
Right? Like, who's fighting it? That sounded nice.
If you don't like it, I like it. It's okay.
There we go. That's what matters. Oh man. And while we're at this point of like we have a moment of laughter, I want to say you don't need a damn room code. Just click the link. I don't. Man. 1 second. I'll give it to you in a minute. Let me finish what I was saying. It's important to remember the laughter in moments like this where we're all together. We're all just kind of having a fun joke, and that's kind of one of those parts for me that's really missing from the holidays. Is I may not have always had a lot of family around, but I did generally have a lot of friends around. And over the past few years, we've moved to a different place, to where we have nobody, and it's like you said, you really begin to appreciate more the things that you had, rather than appreciate the things you have, and you start to spiral in that. For me, it's not having friends around. It's not having just half a dozen people traipsing around, maybe one or two of which I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like that's what I miss about the holidays, is having friends around and their friends and their family. And then for me, you kind of, I don't want to say glom, but I guess you just kind of, I don't know, like symbiote yourself, like fucking Venom, all over their family, so that like you get those warm feeling vibes, and they get the vibe that they're making somebody else's holiday feel good, and it's this big cyclical thing, and then you go to another area and do the same thing. And that's one of the things I miss. I miss the chameleon aspect of Christmas, because trust me, I act very different from one party to the next, because I can't go to I couldn't go to, say, the party for Beth's school and act the same way I did for a party when I had my business and I did like holidays and stuff like that. It's a very different vibe, and I miss having, or just surprise meetings, like when you meet somebody you didn't know you were gonna meet. You know what I mean? Like I miss that shit. The jazz of social interactions where you don't know what's going to happen. Some of the notes come out sour, but you still got to find a way through. And it's just, you got to make the music with everybody around you. And that's like, I miss Christmas parties so fucking much. Like you have no idea. Like those are times where I felt most alive, because I'm an incredibly social person. I love like going to people and just getting to know them and finding ways to help them open up and just get into a better mood. Even if I gotta act a little bit to make it happen, it's okay. I'm not sacrificing who I am, because who I am is helping other people. You know what I mean? That's, if you know who you are, you never sacrifice that. You know what I mean? And I think that's something important, because in the holidays we begin to lose ourselves in that shuffle. And I think this holiday, the shuffle is more inward for a lot of people. And I think that's an important thing to talk about, the inward shuffle of between memories, like Joe was talking about, between the comparative Christmases. For me, it's an alcoholic holiday. Everybody knows you drink, and as somebody who gave that up, except for one day a year, then it's not this day. Let me rephrase that. And so yeah, like it's just, this has actually been easier this year. I'll say that, as like for alcoholic holiday, it's been a lot easier that I'm not going out. But there's, again, that camaraderie, that community, that sense of togetherness that becomes the quintessential holiday spirit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, I think that's one of those things that needs to be addressed, and there's no real way to do it. So here we are. Let's be what we want to be. Like, let's be that sense of community. You know what I mean? Like, and at the end of this, I'm gonna make a couple of announcements about some shit that I'm going to be doing, that just to perpetuate the idea of holiday togetherness for I don't want to say the Anna Twitter community, but like just for anybody who fucking wants it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I'm going to do, I'll wait. That's for the end. I got to keep that in my mind.
I think you touch on something that's like super important on several levels, not just related to like Christmas, but related to kind of this, and I don't know if any of you have been watching Netflix or seen the documentary series called The Social Dilemma. But I think
Beth made me watch it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it talks about just social media in general, creating this sensation of isolation, even in a time when we could still see people. So you tack a society who is already suffering from social I guess closure, like away from social interactions
Yes.
already.
Yep.
And then you add COVID to it, where now we're being forced to, even the social interactions that we do have, we can't have anymore. And then you tack on the most wonderful time of the year, where socializing is like the pinnacle of goodness in Christmas time, or whatever holiday you have. You're supposed to be coming together. And I think all of those things compounding on themselves brings us as people to a position where I think a lot of us have never felt more alone. Even doing these streams and things like that, you're still not, I can't, and I don't mean this in any kind of gross way, I can't touch any of you. I can't hug any of you. I can't be in your presence.
Mhm.
And that removes that human connection.
There's actually, my wife was talking about a study about this, that the human heart gives off its own electromagnetic pulse or frequency.
It does.
And it also picks up on the same electromagnetic frequency in others, and to create resonation. That's how sometimes I don't know about you, but I'll have a friend who will say like 5 or 6 blocks, and I'll be like, oh, that's Jeff. I know that's Jeff. And they'll be like, there's like 19 people. But like, no, I know that third one from the left is Jeff. I just know. That's because you spent enough time with that person that essentially you recognize their electromagnetic field with yours, and that's just how you do it. And holidays, those electromagnetic fields are so much stronger because they're charged with such positive emotions, and because the heart generates more blood through emotions and things like that. And the resonations that we're not having are building up essentially in our soul chambers. I don't really know like what it's called, but there's just like, it's where there's supposed to be like a reciprocation. There's not, but you're still giving it out because your brain is in holiday mode. So you're feeling less. You're getting less than you're giving out. So you're automatically feeling less than, or jilted, or sideways, however you want to put it, because your brain is triggered by generations of feeling this way, around the holidays, the happy warm feelings and da 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 da, and so your heart gives out a bigger electromagnetic wave, and without receiving that from as many people as you're used to, it makes depression easier, is essentially the study. I didn't read it, my wife told me about it, so I only heard about like 2/3.
Try half.
Well, fine, whatever. Shit.
Hey, Valen, I have to start getting ready and head out, but I will
Hey.
try to hop back in when I'm free.
Please do, man.
Bye,
It was
Joe.
wonderful having you. Thank you for sharing your time. If I'd have known it was so limited, I'd have let you speak more, man. I'm sorry.
No,
Bye,
you're good.
Joe.
You're good. Nah, I just had got Christmas dinner at my girl's house with her mom because she's leaving town this weekend.
Well, tell them all I said Merry Christmas and have a good time and stay
Yeah.
safe.
Yep. Peace out, y'all. I'll try to be back.
Take care, sir.
All right. Also, we got Bell in here now. Lord Bellick, Twas. How are you today, sir?
Maybe he's just listening.
Yeah, I'm like, did you want...
He said, "Can y'all hear me now?" We can't.
No, we
Nah,
can't hear you. No, all right.
He might have to hit the unmute button on there.
Yeah, on his.
No, it
maybe
doesn't
has,
look like he's muted.
No,
maybe he has
on
another
his
mute on his
device.
mic. Yeah.
Oh. Gotcha.
Nope, we still
That's,
can't hear you.
That's one of the downsides of the Yeti if you have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows very well.
Well, until he gets going,
Yeah.
to touch on what Sabrina and Valen was saying, I don't know. I guess I'm weird, like in this way, because again, like in isolation, like I'm cool with the distance. People not, touching me, and like I still like when I go to check out, somebody's hovering over me. I can't stand that stuff. I'm like, bro, give me my space. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't care if you're a good looking woman. Give me my space. Like I don't want you around in my bubble. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my area. I'm not in nobody else's space, so like give me mine. And I thought like with this, it would bring like more emphasis to that, to kind of like give other people to think more like, all right, well, I should be, mindful of other people's space and respect them a little. And you get it with some people, but not with everybody. But even with family too, like, I don't know, like it's weird saying it, I guess, but my family is not the most, I don't want to say emotional or hands-on people. So
Testing.
Oh,
Yeah, we
he's
can hear
here.
All right, we hear you. But 1 second, let
Yeah.
Nat finish.
oh, my bad. We not like the most hands-on people. So like when it comes to like that emotion or that feeling, saying that you guys receive, like I'm cool without it. So I was like, I don't know how like it's just weird, you know what I'm saying? Like how you guys, for me at least, like I wish I could have that emotional connection. And it's just like, dang, like that's dope. Like that y'all can see that and have those emotions and feel that. And it's like, well, something gotta be off of me to not be able to, you know what I'm saying, like relate in that way.
Nah, dude, you're an introvert. It's not a big deal. It's just a different way. It's completely fine.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's about.
I agree with him. I think that there's a spectrum, and I think some people do better without human interaction than others. And there is a vast population on the internet that actually come out of their shell when they know they're behind the keyboard, that people can't see them. And so I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but from a standpoint of people who have depression and need that dopamine release, hugs and things like that, just do it. For some people, but for others, there was a period in my life where if someone touched me, I had full like crawling, like wanted to vomit type of sensations. And the only reason I was like that was because I had a lot of like sexual abuse, PTSD kind of stuff that we're not going to touch on. But there was a physical, like somatic response from me when someone would touch me. And so I get it. I get that feeling of like not wanting people near you.
Yeah, no, I as some people know, I'm not a hugger. I have to explain that a bajillion times. Like, even this is my least favorite thing about Christmas is explain to people that like I'm not a hugger. We can shake hands, we can bump fists, we can jive elbows, we can shoulder bump, we can chest bump. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just not a hugger. You know what I mean? And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, my brain doesn't do the same thing when I get a hug that yours does. It's just not how I work. And people are like, oh, that's so sad.
You know, it's funny because I would actually take you as someone who is a hugger, actually, just from my perception of you.
Nope.
But the funny thing is, I am 100% a hugger, and there is times where I've hugged people, and I know I shouldn't have hugged them. Like, because it's not that it was like there's something wrong with you. It's like I know that's not what you want. Like, I was like, all right, don't hug them again. Like, don't do that again. You violated something that you shouldn't have done. I'm like, my bad. All right, you got it. I'm sorry. I was just trying to be nice, dog. But it's like some people, like you said, everybody has their thing, and this is like respect. If you truly are trying to like really understand somebody, accept them for who they are, you have to understand there are certain things that you may enjoy and get that dopamine rush from. That some people like, no. Don't touch me. Don't do it. Like my roommate, he hates it when you put his hand on his shoulder. Like he gets this reflex. It's like, yo, don't ever do that again. I almost hit you. Like I was like, all right, my bad. I'm sorry. I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I am a very, very huggy, and also when I was younger and had more energy, a very glompy person. When I was a kid, you did not get hugged. I tackled your ass. And like now that I'm older, I'm like, okay, this friend likes hugs. This friend likes hugs as long as they don't pick them up because they hate that. And then I love like when I explain these things out loud, most of my friends look at me and go like, why the fuck are you picking people up? What the hell is wrong with you?
I
like,
do it all the time. If I'm forced to hug somebody, I'll make it as uncomfortable as possible. Like, I'll hug them, but I'll put the hand right behind the back of the head, make it like super fucking intimate. You know what I mean? So that person never wants to hug me again.
Joke's on you. I'm into that shit.
That's hilarious.
Right?
Like, oh,
Play that card on
was
the
nice.
wrong person. End up with a date on a weekend. Hey. But
I reserve my comments on all of your hugging abilities.
Well, I think this is a real. I think this analogy, the hugging analogy, is actually a really apt way of putting that some people just don't get the same thing out of the same things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the holiday spirit that we've been speaking about, the warm fuzzies. People get that in so many different ways, and the introspective individual will think, "Oh, am I encroaching upon their thing, or is this really what this is supposed to be?" But there's also people who are like, "I don't," like Jay and hugging. "I don't give a fuck." Wha-bam! And you getting this hug, and that's how they feel about Christmas, and that's how they feel about the whatever the fuck they're going through at that moment. Because some people are just more overtly affectionate or more overtly capable of dealing with their emotions. And,
Oh yeah.
Some people deal with them in a much, like Sabrina said, there's a spectrum of introvert to extrovert on so many things, and the emotional scale is so deep and scary that, like, yeah, there's a depth to everything. Some people are more overt, some people are more introvert with it, and Christmas is a time where everybody feels like they have to be overt with it. Everybody feels like they have to be, fucking Papa Jojo, fucking gotta be Santa Claus or whatever, and it's not that. You don't have to. Sorry, it's from Tim Allen's Santa Claus. When he's arrested, they start asking him his name, and he's like, who are you? And he's like, St. Nicholas, and he gives a bunch of different names, and one of them's Papa Jojo, and it's fucking.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
It's on the list. I gotta do it in my Discord. It's not something I can stream, but yeah, we're not talking about that yet. I'll wait till the end of the stream to bring that up. But yeah. Anybody else have anything they would like to add? I know Bells.
Yeah, I had something I wanted to talk about because there was tons and tons of conversation about family because, let's be honest, it's one of the things associated with the holiday. And for me, I'm not on good terms with most of my family. I like the one I have a close bond with is my brother, who I currently live with. And goddamn, he is a trooper. He has worked himself to death caring for me while I'm dealing with COVID. And my dad, I'm re-warming up to and rekindling like a good relationship now that I'm seeing what he's going through. But I try to avoid my mother as much as possible, and I just straight up don't talk to my sister. So for me, especially recently in life, the holidays haven't really been about family and stuff. They've been about, okay, where the fuck are all my friends? Because fuck blood, those people are my family. They're the ones who helped me get better. They're the ones who were there and talked me through when I was pretty much on the verge of an emotional breakdown and shit. And they did it because they cared, not because they wanted a favor or some ammunition they could use later. And it was just, for me, that's what it's always been about. So I always have a hard time connecting to all the family stories because the most I have are those vague memories from childhood. And let's face it, really young childhood memories aren't exactly one-to-one with reality. You have a little bit too much innocence back then. And I just wanted to bring that up because I thought I legit got filled with joy. Admittedly, a little bit of envy, but I don't give a shit about that. Fuck that. That person has a great life, and I'm going to be thankful that they do. Because I don't remember who it was really. I think it was...
I think it was me if you're talking about
Envy's
family.
Yeah. I was about to say, I think it was Jay, and talking about family and all that. I was like, good, that's great. That's good for you that you got that. I'm so glad that you did. And I just wanted to come in and show the other side of the coin for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, modern times, a lot of people are, well, not unfortunately, because it's helping people realize what relationships are bad. But at the same time, now that everyone's pointing it out, it seems like there's a lot more bad families than there actually are. Just because, well, you're not going to read a thing that says, you know, oh yeah, no, me and my family have Christmas every year and we watch the Disney Christmas Carol or something like that every
And
day.
we wear ugly sweaters and
Yeah,
we
no-
make popcorn.
No one's gonna read that. People are gonna read, oh shit, this guy's family like would never give him presents. He would, at most, his dad would tell him to shut up and be quiet, and that was the most interaction he got on Christmas. That's what people pay attention to, and
Mhm.
that's kind of a reason why a lot of people nowadays are much more water than blood, if that analogy
yeah.
makes any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, feel different on that nowadays, and I feel it's a big difference from my understanding of ye olde relationships, where it was, no, you have your family and they matter because they're family.
Yeah, I can get where you're coming from. I'll just to give you some of my own perspective. Like my situation has kind of two sides to it, because on one side of my family, they are all Mormon. And so from a standpoint of Christmas and what is expected, there's this whole thing to do, but I am removed from that side of the family. So like that, I only experienced that as a child. But on my dad's side of the family, he was an alcoholic, he was drunk, he was in that group of like, you know, I mean, if I bought him a present, what's this for? Christmas is just another day. Why the fuck do you care? Type of a mindset. And so having those two very polar opposite situations, what I feel like it really boils down to is your Christmas is what you is if you want to have a good Christmas, you have to make it a good Christmas, and stop drawing this, as Theo kind of alludes to, stop trying to draw this Christmas comparative of what Christmas should be, or whatever holiday, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. So I agree with you. I think that there is that side of the coin where it's not always family. Family brings a ton of drama, as Theo was listening to me go on and on about before the stream started. Sometimes family isn't the best part of Christmas. Sometimes it's nothing but trouble. So I get all that whole thing was just that I get that perspective, and it makes a lot of sense.
Hey, Valen. So my DoorDash is here.
Oh,
So
go
I'm gonna
get that
go.
food.
I'm gonna go and eat. But thank you for having me on. And
Always.
this conversation definitely helped a lot.
I'm
Just
glad.
with some
I'm
thoughts of
glad it
that. So
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Go get your food.
course.
Have a happy holiday. Stay safe.
of course.
Bye,
All right, it was
Jay.
nice meeting everyone. Nice meeting you, Sabrina.
Yeah.
Nap, nice as always, and Bella,
Nice
pleasure to meet you.
Jay.
All right, Jay, take it easy, bro.
Take care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was JD Legend.
That is an epic name.
But
Or say legendary.
huh?
I had said his name was epic, and Sabrina just went, you could say it was legendary.
Jesus, you could. I suppose.
I think Marty's rubbing off on me. I have to stop hanging out with that guy.
Yes.
No, do it. More puns.
No, that's it. We're done with Marty. He's had his time.
Everything must be punderful.
And now we have to fight Bell. All right. It's okay. Holiday ass whoopings. Now that's a tradition I'm familiar with.
What tradition?
Holiday ass whoopings.
Oh no!
You know what's been one of the coolest, and I'm a little bummed out about this component of Christmas. One of the coolest things that I have experienced moving to Minnesota and seeing their like cultural Christmas, because they're all, you know, they're like Viking Nordic history. So they like, one of the things that they did before COVID was they had this Christmas, they did like this Christmas market where it was just a bunch of like freelance, just small business type people that were making all of their products, and they would line it with all of these beautiful lights. But on the first day of this thing, they would have what was called a Krampus parade, where like hundreds
The
of people
Krampus?
just dressed up as Krampus and like parade around the streets and like terrorize children for like a good hour. And yeah,
All right, I'm
I
moving.
didn't get
Baby, we're
to go
moving!
to it. So we moved here and they were having that, and we missed it the first 2 years that we were there just because ER life is busy and I'm always fucking working. But that was what they were doing. And this year was the first year that I had it off that I could go. And so we were planning on that at the beginning of the year. And then COVID happened, and now we don't get to do any of that. And I am just so bitter that I don't get to experience Krampus chaos.
You know, there's really no laws that says you can't go out alone and terrorize children.
Well, yes, there
Well,
are.
I mean,
There
there
are actually
There are
laws.
several laws about that.
Not if you're dressed in Krampus. Like, there's...
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, you could break into anyone's house as long as you're in a Santa outfit. That's how it works, right?
No, you say trick or treat and then start hitting them with reeds.
What the fuck?
That's what Krampus does.
Yeah.
He takes all
know.
the bad kids, shoves them in a sack, and beats them with reeds while he drags them to hell.
Oh, God, I love Krampus.
I said we're moving because where she's from, they have a Krampus parade where basically I'd get to dress as Krampus and go around and beat the shit out of kids with reeds.
I did not say no. They just scare them.
Nothing scares more than an ass whooping. I've been there. I can tell you. Nothing's gonna change a kid onto the straight and narrow like a reed to the back of the ass bone. And it's a
Being
Ass
delivered by a
bone.
man dressed like a devil.
yeah, from a man dressed like a pagan devil. So
that's the sole reason why we're going overseas.
no, that's not overseas. That's where Sabrina lives.
Oh, that's
That's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. What?
Oh, damn, I need to go to
Oh,
Minnesota.
the country.
Well, they're like Vikings over there, so it really is gonna be like.
I need to go to Minnesota. Vikings, Krampus, fuck yes. This place sounds metal.
Except it's full of snow all the time. It's very cold.
This is my
Shit, I'm a
baby.
Floridian. I won't survive.
Oh, yeah, you're in trouble.
This is my bay. This
Hello.
is
Hello.
Hi,
my
Beth.
baby.
Hello.
This is my
Hi, Beth.
bay.
Hello, baby. Not sure which one.
That's Killian.
Yes,
Hey,
thank
Tiny,
you,
the
Killian.
tiny bald one is Killian. The one
Yes.
with all of the curls is Okanashi.
Got it.
Good identifier. This is Nonsense, Sabi, and Bell.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
And
Hello.
and Punch, who is finally done doing some of his holiday things and who has deigned us with his presence.
I'm not gonna lie. Recently, I had a revelation about Florida. Apparently, we have a town called Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a shit town. Like, I do not know a single person who has left that town and said a single good thing about it.
Yeah.
Like, the most I get is there's this one good restaurant. Everyone else is closed-minded as hell.
I was in Florida for training, and I had an Uber driver tell me that they needed to build walls to keep the water out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Florida is
Like-
a special place. I lived down there in Panama City for 8 years.
I
place is-
apologize for that.
I built
Jesus.
houses in west of Panama. That place is a fucking. Dude, where I lived versus Panama City, I lived in a place called was it Pleasantville? No, Niceville, Florida.
Oh
I know
shit,
that.
you've been to Niceville?
I
know
lived there
exactly
for 2
what
months.
that-
It was a bad 2 months.
Yeah,
I remember those 2
Yeah,
months,
you
man.
do. That was a hard 2 months for this individual. However, I did have a swimming pool that I swam in constantly.
God,
Oh,
the
yeah.
conversations we had back then were
Dude.
just toxic as fuck.
Yeah. People are toxic when they're young. Like, if you're like, that's just how it works. Broken people are toxic when they're younger, and then they realize, okay, maybe this isn't how I'm supposed to be. I thought it was because that's everything I knew and that's everything I was shown. But maybe now, okay, that's okay. Maybe
Yeah, like I remember.
Snazzy there, bro. I had nothing to
Oh yeah,
dress
this
up.
is how I do. I normally dress like this for streams. I just not for D&D because I don't want to make everybody else who plays D&D feel bad when they got to look at all this.
See, this is why I can't have a webcam if I ever join, because I will come in a full cloak and cape and shit because I'm extra
Sage,
shit.
Sage does that.
Sage does that shit. Sage cosplayed her own
wears
character.
horns.
Yeah, she cosplayed
Has,
her
like-
own tiefling with horns.
That's epic.
Yeah. Shout out to Sage, who I hope is having a good day today.
Yeah.
Sage is awesome.
She's the homie.
I think
for
I
real.
met her in a voice chat a few days ago.
That's entirely unlikely. Wait, no, maybe. That's right. We were in Discord. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
y'all were playing Baldur's Gate, if I remember
That's
correctly.
right. Yep.
Yep.
See, this is all I wear is regular old white tees. That's it.
Regular old white tees. That's fair.
Hey, if it works, it works.
But he rocks. But he rocks a pretty good beard.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
a solid
I
thing, bro.
I envy that beard. I have
Right?
whiskers.
I just shaved. I got this thing.
I don't grow a beard, so there.
Hey, females grow beards too. Hey.
You know, you could
They
be a
can.
lady dwarf. Okay, we don't judge.
I just meant that me personally, I don't grow.
Oh, I didn't mean to assume your gender either. My bad.
No, you're fine.
Gender
Oh,
is
it's 2020, bro.
trying
You
to
can't
be
be doing that.
gender
And on that
is
note,
dwarf.
I gotta go.
Do you really? Because I'll say goodbye. I didn't know if that was a joke.
No, I was joking.
All right, I'm
I'm
like, I
probably
don't.
gonna leave out another 10 minutes though. I'm waiting on the call. But
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
It was good, Nap. I didn't realize you were in here.
what up, Punch?
Did you paint your whole wall green like that?
No, it's actually like
Was the screen? All right.
it's like pinned up there.
Hell yeah, solid work, sir. Solid
Thank you,
work.
sir.
Good job. I legit thought that was paint. See,
Yeah,
if I had
need
done that, there would have been 40 wrinkles.
Yeah, I need a new green screen. My shit is not green enough.
Yeah, it's just like pin going all the way down.
Did you know
Yes.
they used to use yellow
Smart.
screens?
Smart.
No, but that's weird.
Oh yeah, like Mary Poppins is done on a yellow screen, the entire movie.
Interesting.
Because back then they hadn't figured out how to do green with digital stuff. So instead they had yellow screens, and if you put I believe it's sodium lamps and shine the light on there, it creates an effect similar to a green screen, but it's more cost effective because you have to have a crap ton of lamps pointed at one screen.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
movies
then again,
back in the day were a
movies
lot
back in
hard.
the day were a lot of work. Yeah.
But hey, Punch, you got anything you want to speak on for the holidays? Anything got your that's weighing on that heart of yours? Just wanna
Oh,
give-
nothing much, man. You know, family situation is weird but great.
That's how that works, is my understanding.
Yep.
But now I'm
You know.
curious, and I want you to say more on that. What is weird? Define weird.
Without
Without getting too personal. I'm not trying to be invasive.
No. It's cool. Like, so right now we just had a recent death in the family, right?
Condolences.
And right now my family situation is straight out of a Tyler Perry movie. Like,
Okay,
Like, you
I
got-
know exactly what the fuck he's talking about. All right.
you got people fighting each other, you got people stealing crap. Like, it's straight out of a freaking Tyler Perry movie, bro. It is hilarious.
Oh.
I know it's messed up, right, baby?
And then
Maybe
it's,
it was
it's,
Tyler
it's,
Perry.
it's like during the day it's complete and utter chaos, and at night everybody's like laughing, drinking, having a good old time. It's freaking awesome.
That's a fair definition of weird. Yeah, that's
Yeah, grief takes a lot of forms. Some of them are very flip floppy.
yes.
Right. So it's definitely been weird but great. You know.
Do you feel like your family is closer together with the
Yeah.
situation?
We have a pretty tight knit family. Anyway, of course, we have our family stuff that everybody else has anyway, but we typically get over it pretty quickly.
That's cool.
That's good.
It's more so like, especially now that everybody knows that tensions is high. Everybody's pretty forgiving towards a whole lot of different things that's going on. So
Well, that's
Okay.
good. Forgiveness is key
Yeah.
when grieving and people act in all kinds of ways about things.
yeah, because it was a lot of stuff at one time. Like my granddad, like he literally went to the hospital because he felt weird, and within 12 hours he was gone, and then found out that he had COVID. So, my grandmother got tested
shit.
and she tested positive.
Oh.
So they ended up taking her to the hospital, had her on a ventilator for the first day, but she's doing pretty good now. They were trying to keep from her that her husband had passed away, but because she's elderly, not that great, stuff like that or whatnot. But the weird thing was when she actually found out, she had the opposite reaction that they thought that she was going to have. She actually got better. It was like almost like a load off, almost like, her breathing got back normal. She was, got her strength back, was able to get up and move around, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
She's home now, so
Because no doubt, like, no one telling her was giving her anxiety. Like, hey, can I just get a fucking answer, please? And she found out, and she was like, okay, I
Yeah.
know that sucks. My family is not losing a second person. God damn it!
right, pretty much.
I will walk out of this hospital or die. Wait, hold on. I didn't think that phrasing through. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool, man. I'm like, it's the laughter and the comedy that makes it ain't better. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Honestly, I've had kind of an anxiety ever since COVID started happening. Like, not just me getting it, which unfortunately happened, but mostly because my grandma is like 102 or 103.
Holy
Mhm.
And I'm like, lady, you are in the risk zone twice and then some.
Right.
And I'm just worried because, especially because this is, of course, interrupting her schedule because she used to every day wake up 1 mile walk, come back home. And like, because I'm like, on one hand, my grandmother is a trooper and she's a badass, so I feel like she's going to make it through this. However, if anything is going to take that woman down, it's going to be the virus we don't know jack shit about.
Dude, the virus is so weird because I think Valen knows already, but my son, he was diagnosed with it back in like October, and he has allergies, he has asthma and everything else, and he had 0 symptoms, and none of us in the house got it either. My wife, my daughter, we all tested negative,
Yeah.
but he had it. This virus is the weirdest virus I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, like I found out some weird crap. Like it can take 14 days for you to start feeling anything after you get it, and once your symptoms go away, you're still contagious for 2 more days. And I'm just like, God damn, this is chaos. The virus. It does not follow any logic. It
Not
just
true.
says, you know what?
It does follow a logic. It follows a manager's logic for whether you're coming into work.
Ah,
That is like, it is specifically designed to be fed and prospered by the American like 9 to 5 system.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
hate this country so much. Ugh.
it has
Just-
learned our ways and has made itself stronger by adapting to them.
Yep.
It's
From
some
a-
World War Z type of crap that you just don't see.
from a veterinary perspective, there's a lot we know about coronaviruses in general. Like we have them in cats, we have them in people, and as a family, we know a lot about the coronavirus family. But I won't go on any kind of tirade just because I've spent a lot of time in virology, and there's a lot that we do know, but there are components of it that because it's new, you don't really know how it's going to behave.
Oh yeah.
And what we know about the coronavirus families from just studying them in other species, there are potentials for how it could go that have the medical community very uncomfortable. And so I won't go in on it, but I agree with you. There's a lot we don't know, and the fact that this country has taken the stance of fuck it,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
we will be the individuals that for probably the bazillionth time in our lifetime. I mean, with the ADD children, we pushed pills on us, and we're being experimented on by the marijuana companies, and we're now being experimented on by a brand new virus.
Yep.
So.
Oh no, I found some shit out that pissed me the hell off. Like, apparently we have not tested the vaccine we're giving out at all.
Oh no, there's been stage 3. There's been stage 3 testing, but
Okay.
I think they did like 30,000
Harley.
individuals. Even though that's still a small sample size, but
Yeah.
it was like 30,000.
From the words of a doctor,
Well, this isn't about the vaccine, but have you guys heard about the long-term symptoms that people have like 8 to 10 months later?
Yeah, I know
What?
that some people, especially in their lungs, they have like long-term symptoms.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people, but it's still a subset of people, so they haven't quite gotten recognized yet. But it's like brain fog, cognitive failures like hallucinations, dementia type symptoms, long-term inability to like be able to have a good breath, like chest pains, fatigue, like really, really crazy major stuff that all fits under the umbrella of like a chronic illness that is hard to see.
So for the first several months that COVID started killing people, pathologists were not allowed to dissect them or investigate what their postmortem appearances looked like because of the fear of the spread of the contagion. So they weren't able to do dissections. So it wasn't until probably the 5th or 6th month that once we started seeing deaths from COVID, the pathologists were able to take a look and try to determine postmortemly what is this doing on a microscopic level. And what they found most consistently is that it's a clotting problem, which is why the lungs fill with fluid, and which is why there's these long-term brain, kidney, blood pressure side effects.
Yes, that makes sense.
Oh.
The blood.
So
feeds everything.
it is a virus that causes microclotting.
Great.
And that's the thing, is that I mean, I'll get into it a little bit. This is a conversation for a different stream, but what we know about the coronavirus family. So there are three coronaviruses that we see consistently in cats. There are about 1,500 coronaviruses throughout people, cats, other species, things like that. But what we do know is that most of them are super benign. They cause upper respiratory infections that are mild. Very rarely do they ever kill anything. There is a subset of coronaviruses within cats specifically that they can have it their whole life and they never have a problem. But in about 5 to 7% of those cats, that virus mutates and it causes a condition called feline infectious peritonitis, where, and I've seen it in kittens because it mutates early, and I've seen it in 15-year-old cats because it mutates late. But when it does mutate, they fill up with fluid in their abdominal space, in their chest, and at the moment, there's no way to cure it. And the part that is concerning to me is that we have seen coronavirus, our COVID-19, cause peritonitis in kids. And so what this virus is doing on a microscopic level, and what it could do 15 years from now, after you've already been infected, is a giant big ugly question mark.
Great.
No, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I get to have anxiety about that for the next 15 years.
I just wish that when it first became a thing, that there was something decisive that happened, rather than it being kind of left up to the states and everybody, picking and choosing when they want to lock down, when they don't want to lock down.
Yeah. No,
All
I mean,
kinds
that
of
was
Lack of leadership.
well.
And
The science community was screaming for that right from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then now you get everybody at the point now where it's been a year, and people are like, you know what, forget it. It's, yeah.
Because they feel like they have to pay the bills.
Say again.
Because everyone has to
saying,
pay
it's
the
just-
bills.
Yeah, because it's been a year. You got people
Yeah, the last
quarantining
stimulus
or
check.
shutting down and things like that, whatnot, living abnormal lives for this amount of time. And
But guys,
everybody was
the corporate machine can't stop.
Yeah,
Right.
that's illegal.
The virus has proven what people have been saying for a really long time. If we stop showing up for work, corporations shit themselves to the point
and not
that
just
they will.
and not just that, it's shown us the absolute breakdown of our healthcare system. California right now has 0 ICU beds. 0. They had over 150,000 people across their state in ICU beds that were made in like gift shops. Like they're literally, the hospitals are literally expanding into gift shops to try to deal with the overflow of people. And that's just because of the COVID patients. Like, never mind the dude that gets hit by a car who now needs a ventilator. Like, who the fuck do you pick? You pick the COVID patient or the guy that got hit by a car?
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to. I'm gonna jump off this
Let it out,
soapbox right
girl.
now.
No. You stay on that soapbox. This is the place for soapboxing.
It's
This is
been
what
very
this is about.
informative too.
Yeah.
But I mean, from a standpoint of as an ER doctor, and I mean, I'm a veterinarian, but the same issues are happening. When COVID first happened, we as veterinarians, we're not the front line. We are at the very back. We're the ones saying, here's our ventilators, here's all of our surgical equipment. We'll stop cutting pets so that you guys can be protected with your PPE. We are supplying everything we can to these hospitals because they can't function. So your pets, if you take them to veterinarians, are like, we're about 3 weeks out. Sorry. And the ER doctors are like, we have a 6 to 7 hour wait. So if you want to sit in in the parking lot for that long, we might get to your pet. And especially if it's not an emergency, you're gonna sit there. And people are losing their ever fucking minds about it. And it's so from a healthcare standpoint, a community standpoint, what we have done in this country has failed spectacularly.
Yeah.
Our healthcare system will tank. California is the first, but it's not going to stop there. It may be the epicenter right now, but our peak is still climbing because people still have the opinion that there's no scientific evidence that masks work. At this point, what the fuck does it matter?
Just wear the fucking mask.
Right. Right.
Like,
The problem
if it
is
doesn't
people
work,
who have
at
never
least you
been-
did something.
No, the problem is people who have never been actually oppressed in their life think that having to wear a mask for somebody
It's
else's
oppression.
benefit is oppression. And it's like, no, sir, it's not. It's called common fucking courtesy. It's called community well-being. Like, everybody was like, oh, herd immunity. Well, yeah, be a part of the herd, you stupid fuck. Like, put a mask on.
Yeah.
For a little
Well, and
bit.
that's the thing, like herd immunity, a lot of people hear that term and they just assume that, like, okay, if everybody's protected, then everybody's protected. But here, herd immunity is based on epidemiology, and epidemiology tells you that if 85% of the herd is protected, the ones that you cannot vaccinate, the pregnant ones, the sick ones, the babies, those are the ones that are protected by herd immunity because everybody else has a less likelihood of getting infected. And here's the hard part with this COVID bullshit is that we don't know as a scientific community yet whether or not you can be reinfected. or if exposure to the virus one time means that you have at least some protection for your further
There've been
infection.
recent studies where people have said they've gotten it again and that it's worse than the first time.
And that's entirely possible. And they are seeing, there's actually a virologist that I follow on Twitter. And she does genomic sequencing. So she basically puts these viruses into a machine and it says, these are the genetic codes for this particular strain of virus. And she has, and you can go to her Twitter, she's identified a second strain of the same virus. That is only a couple of genomic sequences apart from the previous COVID-19. But it is creating greater sickness. And it's blowing up behind this one. So which one are we getting? How long do we have immunity? Do we have immunity? And that's why these vaccines were spit out so quickly, because you had literally an entire world working on the problem. Most of the scientists stopped their previous, and I have multiple friends who are working on viruses at Colorado State, at Texas A&M. There are multiple people that are building some kind of vaccine to see if it's going to work. It's just that Pfizer is a corporate entity that has all the money, and so they can push it faster. But these vaccines that Anthony Fauci is talking about do have efficacy in their trial 3s, which means that a subset of the population got the vaccine and saw positive results. But they don't know what that's going to look like when they expand from a 50 group population to 1 million plus to see how it's going to go. And the politicians and the medical supervisors are going to be the first to get it. And there are adverse side effects, allergic reactions being the most common.
But the thing about it, even when it comes to the vaccines, they don't know how long or how effective they're going to be.
Right.
They don't know whether it's going to be 3 months, 6 months, a year, because they haven't had time to test it.
Right. And the first Pfizer vaccine showed efficacy for, I want to say, initially 7 days. They were able to bring that out further before they released that particular, Pfizer's particular vaccine. And I don't know much about this, the second one that came out.
Moderna just got approval yesterday.
Yeah, them. I don't know much about that particular virus. That vaccine. I haven't looked into that one. But as far as I understand it, this is literally a vaccine that is a shotgun blast. It's trying to cover as many possibilities and not knowing what that could look like.
The only thing I saw different, or at least from what BBC was saying, was the way of packaging. It was negative 75 degrees Celsius for was it Pfizer you were saying, or Pfizer?
Yeah, Pfizer, yeah.
And then for the Moderna it's negative 25. So I guess because it was harder to keep that temperature for Pfizer, would be more easier and more, I guess, acceptable to be able to, in transportation, getting this overseas and stuff like that, to us and everybody else, so then this way it can just be outletted better. I'm just regardless, I'm gonna be a skeptic to it, but for other people that want their hand into it, that's on them. I just pray that it's good things that'll come out of it and everything will be cool. If they choose to.
I will say there was this video of this lady that took the vaccine, and then she was talking about it, and then she passed the fuck out.
Yeah, that's called anaphylaxis.
It's not a good look.
Yeah. But the cool thing about the Moderna one, though, is a little bit more practical because it's one shot as opposed to Pfizer's where it has to get administered in 2 doses.
That's fair.
Which is crazy to me because they can't answer right now what happens if they get exposed within, the doses.
Oh,
right. And here's the thing about any vaccine is that, and I think a lot of, and I don't mean this negatively, I think just a lot of lay people don't really look into what a vaccine is, what its job is. And vaccines, any vaccine that any company comes up with, it's not going to cure this. There's not curing COVID-19. There's never going to be a cure for it. Vaccines stimulate the immune system and help them identify it so that you don't have as bad of a reaction as you would have had you never been exposed. So there's no curing happening with this vaccine. It is just giving your body, like, hey, this is the shell of this virus. If you see it, kill it.
I hate the people that actually use the word cure for it too.
Yeah, there's no curing this. We will live with COVID-19 for the rest of our lives. But how we handle it and how our bodies respond to it is the only thing we can control. And if you can take a virus that causes you to be on a ventilator and causes microclots throughout your whole body, if you can take that virus and make it just a rough upper respiratory infection, then everybody survives it and it's not such a big deal.
Oh, that is depressing. Holy crap.
I'm sorry to have shit all over your day.
It's all right.
Soapbox.
It's all right. It is better to know and be sad about it than to be willfully ignorant.
Yeah. So, this has been a talk from your friendly veterinarian. Please wear your masks.
Please. And wash your hands.
Yes. Hand washing, cleaning of things is necessary. Now, what I'm going to show you, it's not for the faint of heart. Take your fingers. What you really want to do is get up in there like this, and then you want to switch them. Give it some of this action, and then give it the rub on. And get it. Wait, what are we talking about again?
Oh yeah, no, I do when I wash my hands, I get weird looks because I go like almost to my elbows, because that's how I was told to wash my hands back when I was a dishwasher. And it was kind of just, I did that for a year, so now it's just how I wash my hands, and everyone's like, yo, Caleb, you getting ready for surgery? What the hell's going on in here?
Just look them dead in the face and be like, no, your mom appreciates it.
No.
Yeah. The implications of that are both horrifying, disgusting, and might end up in a fight, so be prepared for that.
I can't fight. Have you
Never
seen
take
my
advice
arms?
from Theo.
Remember, I got a face for punching, so.
You said it.
I did. And
his face is made for punching.
If life has proved anything true today, it's that fucking sentence. But yeah, man, this has been pretty dope. I'm not gonna drag it out. I got a lot of other stuff I gotta do today, but I wanted to get one of these in because these are really. I feel like these are really important, and given that this is going to be close to the wrap up, we're going to give final thoughts and final things after this. But I wanted to bring up that I'm going to start doing these once a month on a specific date. I think the 19th works actually as like a steady date. So that, but yeah, this is just going to be a major part because I believe you can't have a gaming focused like group like I have with Vagabond Gaming without having an emphasis on mental health. The connection between gaming and mental health is so strong that it should be represented, and so from now on I'm going to be doing these once a month, and I hope you'll see me in the future. Also, for the holiday season, this is the little announcement I was going to say earlier, I'll be doing movie nights in my Discord. We can watch Muppets. We can watch Santa Claus movies, all 3 of them. Can watch the old school 1985 Santa Claus movie that I remember having a book of when I was in the homes. We can just watch a bunch of Christmas movies, have a good time. And New Year's Eve, in particular, I will be doing a screening of It's a Wonderful Life. So if you're here, if you're interested, like the stream. Thank you, Russ. As always, fucking here with the good stuff, and I appreciate you. So on that note, let's go into our final thoughts, and let's start with nonsense. Let's hear your final thoughts on the holiday blues.
Hmm. Enjoy the time that you can make for yourself, first and foremost, as well as enjoy the time that you can have with your family and friends. Uh, Cherish them, take many as pictures as possible. Get photo albums and books is my recommendation. And just remember, that you're the captain of your own soul, So with that, it's like take in what you can deal with and do the best you can. That's my recommendation.
So you're muted.
And that was brought to you by No Nonsense Nap, who is known for being no nonsense. Next up, let's hand the mic over to Bell. Let's give his final thoughts on Holiday Blues.
Yeah, let's face it, especially around this year, this Christmas and holidays going to be depressing because for a lot of people, this is going to be them waking up and going, oh, right, they die in June. They're not going to be here for this one. So for the love of all that is good during the holiday season, I have to recommend, please find a way to hang out with someone. It doesn't have to be in person. Like, if you can find a way to do as Val's doing and stream some movies together, anything is better than just curling in, because trust me, when you sit there and you let it fester, it only gets worse. So try to be around people, even if it's, hey, I'm doing this for the sake of being around you, then it's still a small step. So please, everyone, try and do that.
All right, well put. Thank you. Next up, Sabi.
The holidays are a hard time for a lot of people. And whether it's because you can't pull yourself out of depression or everything is just weighing on you, if you take a moment to verbalize those thoughts that are positive, saying, I am grateful for my children. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my dog. If you can take a moment to do those things, it can help change that perspective and be kind to yourself this year, because it's already hard enough out there. We're struggling a lot in a lot of different areas and people are suffering. You don't need to hurt yourself on top of it. So take your time and enjoy your Christmas. Happy holidays.
Fucking beautiful. All right. Sorry you got to follow that. Punch.
Right? I was like, I'm glad I went first.
Yeah, right?
It's all good. Like, I just got to say that I love the gaming community. I love the anime and manga community. Everybody on this stream, we come from different walks of life. We're in different places, things like that or whatnot. But we all come together, have a good time when we're together. And I love that. And I say that to say that life is short. Life is very, very short. If you got friends that you can come together with and have a great time with, enjoy it. Enjoy it, because you never know when that person's not going to be here. And it doesn't matter, what their belief system is or this, that, and the other. Like, enjoy the people that you are blessed to be around. And that's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you very much. Pardon me taking notes. But, all right. And as for me, to finally close us off, I can't begin to tell anybody how their holidays go. It's such a crazy time at the best of times. I remember the frantic car rides to and from 15 different places in a night. I remember the searing white snow on the highway. I remember the feeling of frantic. And this holiday, while that has been replaced with isolation and, more coldness than normal, I want you to remember not to give in to the pandemic pageantry of Christmas, where people hype everything up. It's okay to be where you are and be who you are, because who you are is fucking amazing. You worked hard to be that person, and you shouldn't let anybody else disrupt your flow. You know what I mean? I've been watching a lot of anime recently. But we got to remember to, as Sabi said, find the good. Go searching for that, that little bit in the back of the shelf, because all the bad shit is being thrown in your face constantly. Everywhere you look, you will find negativity, because that's what sells. Because that's what your brain remembers. I said it earlier. Your brain is Teflon for the good things, Velcro for the bad. And they use that against us at every possible turn to shove negativity down our throats. But if we just remember that beyond that veil of negativity they use to separate us, to keep us where they want us to be, and to hide the true, I don't want to say true meaning of Christmas, but the true holiday togetherness behind that fear, we can realize that we're still here right now, all across at least the country right now. I have friends that are listening and joining in and sharing in holiday moments, holiday memories. It's been an absolute amazing time. So be present. Be the present you want to be the gift you would like to have. Be present in the moment. And let that be the Christmas that you bring, being present. Because so often we're so focused on the next thing and the next drive we have to make through the next snowstorm, through the next metaphorical snowstorm, through whatever. But now, just be present. Take the time that we have, which is always a gift, and be present in the moment. All right? This has been Captain Valen and Vagabond Gaming, reminding everybody to seek mental help if you need it. And I'm always here to talk if you want it. All right, y'all have a good day. And, oh yeah, life happens in every direction. So keep the mask on and the hands clean, okay? All right, bye. Where is that fucking button? I always miss it. I had the wrong thing up. Jim.